sustain any drives, and we didn't convert a third down on the day, and they converted 10 out of 18. So that was a huge part of the game. It was a big emphasis coming in. We obviously didn't execute well enough in that area. We shot ourselves in the foot there in the first half a couple times with some penalties. We're off the field, the first drive of the game, and then we got a defensive offsides, and then thought we had a little momentum going there at half. Before the half, we got 3 points into the half, and came out second half, and then again couldn't get a scoring drive going, and at the end of the day, just disappointing. We talked about time of possession coming into the game being a huge factor, and to their credit, to the Raiders' credit, they flipped the script on us. They had the ball for 37 plus minutes. So listen, just not a good enough effort by everybody today. Like I said, certainly disappointing, and I know a lot of people are going to put it all on the quarterback, but we really didn't give him much help today. So unfortunately, suffered a couple injuries in the game. Kendre Miller, as you know, went out with a concussion. Scaling went out there at the end. He's getting checked on. Really, I think it was a re-aggravation of the same injury he had last week. We'll see what happens. Jalen Ford got a lower leg injury there on that punt cover. So we'll kind of see where he is at. So again, disappointing game. You can't score 10 points and win this league. So we got to find a way here in this last week to manufacture some more points. So that's where we're at.
Were there things they did differently in the second half defensively that you could point out as what gave you trouble?
No, listen, we didn't execute. We dropped some passes. We missed on a couple. Pass protection wise, I felt like Spencer never really got settled in there, and he was moving around, and he made some plays moving around, to his credit. But like I said, we had some drops. We had some penalties offensively that kind of stalled. If I'm not mistaken, we were over the 40-plus 40-yard line twice and had penalties that pushed us back into a punt situation. And, you're in a game like this, you got to come away with some points there when you're down there. And so I don't think there was a schematic thing that they did as much as it was an execution thing by us.
This could have been Cam's last home game maybe. What did you notice from him today, and just did he seem any different to you, like soaking it all in?
Nah, the one thing about Cam, for the 6 years I've been here with Cam, the best thing I could say about Cam, he's the same guy every day. He's got a phenomenal attitude, phenomenal approach. He is as professional as they come. And again, you walk in our locker room every day and you would know what our record is by his approach and his attitude and his leadership. I hope he keeps playing, and I hope this isn't his last game at home. But I haven't seen anything different out of that guy. That guy's, again, best thing I can say about him is exactly what you're getting every day, and the consistency thing is why he's been so good at what he's doing.
How did you feel like Spencer played today overall?
I feel like it's a little bit hard to evaluate, to be honest with you. Before I watched the film, just watching with my eyes from the sideline, I didn't feel like we gave him a chance a lot of times. Some of those third downs, he did miss a couple of throws. Obviously, the throw that he has to, I think it was Cedric there, that got tipped up in the air, that gets picked off, and then the pass at the end. I know we had the OPI called on us. We were going to we were going to be in scoring range again there inside the 5-yard line, and we had the penalty. So it's going to be a tough evaluation. I think we're going to have to take a step back and look at it through a different lens, because I feel like there was a lot of times where he wasn't getting any help.
I know you may not have the answer right now, but what do you think is kind of needed for this defense to get back on track?
Really, consistency. There's been, we've had the peaks and valleys in the last 7 weeks. You saw some signs there from the front. 8 sacks in the Washington game. We thought we kind of remedied our run defense a little bit, because that had been poor in the first half of the year. But then again today, if you had told me coming in these guys are going to rush the ball for 158, that's not good. That's not a good formula for us. We thought that was going to be a strong point for us today, and it wasn't. I felt like everything they did, everything was falling forward 6, 7, 8 yards. So I would just say that the number one thing is just consistency. Again, they had, first of all, they had 18 third downs, and they converted on 10 of them. And so the fact that they had we got them into 18 third down situations, if they're going to if we're going to get off the field there and give the offense another chance and get the punt return team back out there, all those things, we just couldn't find a rhythm there on third down. To their credit, they converted, and we couldn't get them off the field. And I think that was really the number one stat when you look at the game, was the third down conversions, because those are like turnovers. And then again, we were 0 for 8. So I think you really don't have to look very much past that one statistic, really the stat of the day, in my opinion.
Darren, the time of possessions, 3 games in a row, you all kind of lost that. Is that just complimentary football not being complimentary enough for both sides?
Yeah, too many drives with 3, 4, 5 plays. Not enough sustain. Our third down had picked up there a little bit in about a month ago. We started to trend in the right direction, and I feel like these last few weeks we're kind of going backwards a little bit. Naturally, today is a great example, but that's really the time of possession really gets back to your third and manageables and then converting on those, and we just haven't done that. And so, like I said, I don't think that's naturally the quarterback's going to get the majority of the blame on that. I don't think it's all on him.
Are you aware of their like travel issues with the Raiders, and did you talk to anybody about them getting in late?
Yeah, I know a couple of coaches on their team, so I knew they got in late last night. So I think it sounded like they just went to bed and woke up, played. So.
On the defensive side of the ball, you're sensing frustration. It's 2 games in a row, these long drives. I think there was a 17-play drive again today. It's just not being able to get off the field. How has that been affecting that group?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. It's frustrating for everybody. I mean, we get into third, medium, third, and long, and then all of a sudden the offense is up and the punt return team is up, and all of a sudden, boom, they convert. And so it's it's certainly deflating at times for sure when they're converting third downs. And it was the same story last week. We got into some third and mediums and longs, and then we had some penalties and things like that turned those into third and shorts. It happened again today. And so there's no doubt about it. It's definitely frustrating. And listen, they I think if I'm not mistaken, they were out there for 70-something plays, and we were out there for 40-something plays. That's a result of that. That's a result of not being able to convert, not being able to get off the field. So that's why I said in the beginning of this presser, I thought the pretty simple answer today. Not a really. You don't have to do a deep dive on today's game.
Does the loss today change anything about how you guys maybe approach Derek, Alvin, Chris?
I really haven't. I'm still kind of soaking this one in. I haven't given a ton of thought to that. I can tell you all 3 of those guys in my conversations with them last week still had aspirations of playing. So.
How would you describe where you are? You just used the word deflating on the defense. Do you feel a little of that right now?
Well, it's just only no one likes to be this result. The result is not what we're looking for. So anytime it's hard to be anything but when you don't have the result that you're coming in. I thought again we had a great practice week. We just haven't been. Our execution hasn't been good enough. So yeah, listen, it's frustrating and it's hard for me to see the players. That's the most frustrating thing for me. Those guys are obviously the ones that I care about the most. And so that's the most frustrating part. But yeah, listen, we got one left, and we got to find a way to respond and rebound.
Kind of following up on that.
Yeah.
This has kind of been an audition for you as well. Do you worry about the way that these last few games have gone?
I really don't look at it like that. I know maybe from an outside perspective you guys look at it like that, and you're right. But I can't concern myself with that right now. We'll coach this last week, take a step back, and then we'll evaluate the whole thing. And the powers to be will evaluate the whole thing, and we'll go from there. I'm not, I can't be overly concerned with that. I'm concerned about the guys in the locker room. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm pissed off and upset for them. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Ken.